We are now ready to look at a new type of collection called a map. And a map is a collection of key value pairs. So let's see how we can create a map. I'm going to delete this code. And then here I can type var person equals, and then I'm going to have a couple of curly braces like this. And then inside the curly braces, I can type, for example, single quotes, name, and then column, and then within single quotes, Andrea, and then I can have a comma, and then on a new line, I could type in within single quotes, age, and then column, and then the number 34, and then again with single quotes, height, and then column, and then 1.84 as a number. So this is how we define a map. So if I wanted to retrieve the value that corresponds to the name key, I could type in print and then person, and then within square brackets, I can type in the key. So single quotes and then name, like this. And then I could try to run this code. And I can see that on the console, I get Andrea, which is the value that corresponds to the name key. By the way, here I've used the var keyword to define my map, and this means that the compiler will automatically infer the types of the keys and values that I've stored in this map. If I wanted, I could define the type of my map explicitly, and we will see how to do that a little later when we talk about generics in Dart. For now, we are going to let the compiler do the work for us and just use var. Another thing that I want to show you is what happens if we try to print the value of a key that doesn't exist. So here, rather than the name, I could try to print the weight, like this. And this is a key that doesn't exist. So if I try to run this code, I get a value of null. The next thing I can show you is how to set a value for a given key. So here I could type person, and then within square brackets, single quotes, and then weight, and then equals and 70, for example. And now that I've defined this key, I could run the code again, and I can see that the console now prints 70. Finally, I'd like to say that just like the list class, map also has a number of useful methods that we can use. So here I can type in person, and then dot, and the editor shows me a number of different methods. And once again, this is just a brief introduction to maps, and we will learn more about how to use them in the Flutter course. One thing that you may wonder is why I've chosen to represent a person object with a map. And if you remember, when we talked about classes, we have seen how to create a person class with name, age, and height properties. So what I would say is that we should always prefer to use classes rather than maps to represent data models. In any case, maps are a generic collection type that is frequently used as an intermediate type, especially when loading structured data from a server, for example in JSON format. Okay, so let's continue on the next video.